says it will pay to help its members travel wherever they need to for an abortion. The decision is hardly surprising. A growing number of the country's biggest entertainment companies, including Disney, Netflix, and Warner Brothers, have already gone all in on abortion. Hollywood is also actively boycotting states that have passed trolling laws.
Another house church in China has run afoul of the authorities there. International Christian Concern reports the congregation faces a big fine after a major raid that took place several years ago. In addition to arresting parishioners, confiscating Bibles and other property, and tearing up the building, officials also levied a fine more than $5 million. Despite a legal campaign on behalf of the church, the government is now demanding the payment. This is SRN News. It's the richest ever media rights deal.
The Big Ten announced its new 7-year media rights deal with Fox, NBC, and CBS. It's believed to be the richest ever struck with a college sports conference. The conference's soon-to-be 16-member universities eventually will share more than $1 billion in revenue per year. Starting in 2024, when USC and UCLA join the conference, Big Ten football Saturdays will be structured similar to the NFL. That means 3 marquee games being carried in consecutive time slots on 3 different major TV networks. John Scott reported.
In a leaked video, Finland's Prime Minister Sanna Marin is seen dancing and singing with friends at a private party. The leak has triggered debate among Finns about what level of reveling is inappropriate for a prime minister, especially considering neighboring Russia's attack on Ukraine, which prompted long-neutral Finland and Sweden to apply for NATO membership. More details at srnnews.com.
The following program is sponsored by the law offices of Patrick L. Smith. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Get ready with your legal questions and call Patrick now. 877-943-9673. Again, that's 877-943-9673. The law office is open. And now, your host, Patrick Smith.
Oh, hi there, and welcome to another edition of the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith, and we are with you for the next hour to answer all of your legal questions. Feel free to give us a call now, 877-943-9673. That's your open studio line. We'll get you right on the air with your question so we can give you the very best help we can this beautiful Saturday morning. 877-943-9673. That's how you call in and be part of the show. I'm your local Central Florida Attorney Patrick Smith. Offices throughout the state, including our newest office in Sarasota, where we were this past week. I had an amazing time down there. Thank you for everyone who made us feel so welcome at the new Sarasota office. So if you want to schedule your appointment there, we'll give you your contact number for the office so you can call and set up your complimentary consultation later in the show. And you can always call in and talk to us now, 877-943-9673. You can also email me directly, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. And you can always submit your email questions directly through the website as well, attorneypatricksmith.com. You can check out prior versions of the show. You can listen on demand. You can check out all our office locations, more information about me. All that's available absolutely free of charge, attorneypatricksmith.com. And joining me in studio are a very special guest, attorney Matthew Kendall. Matt, welcome back to the show.
Hey, good morning, Patrick. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime, buddy. Matt and I have been friends. We were like 14 when we met, I think.
You were 14. I was probably like 15.
You're older than me. That's right. We were talking about that yesterday. So Matt and I actually went to high school together. Both grew up in Interhaven, in Imperial, Polk County, and both practicing attorneys. We were talking yesterday about having seen each other since high school, and then walked into the LSAT exam together over at Florida Southern, where you went, right?
Yeah, I went to Florida Southern, Polk County, and born and raised, and went to college there and practiced law there for a little bit.
And your mom was a teacher.
Yeah, she just retired after however many years.
Well, congratulations to her.
She now does some work for Florida Southern because she has a doctoral degree.
Well, great.
PhD, yeah.
Well, congratulations, Mrs. Kendall. That's terrific. So, all righty. If you want to be part of the show, 877-943-9673. Matt is a practicing criminal defense attorney, so he's here to field all of your criminal defense questions. Feel free to call in with those, but we're also just taking all legal questions. 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673, or email me, Patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, let's go to one of our regular callers. Let's go to Lakewood Ranch and let's talk to Patricia. Patricia, welcome back. What's going on?
Unfortunately, nothing, Patrick. I sent the certified letters plus the regular letter. I sent prior to that emails, and I got no response. In fact, I even sent a letter to the CEO of the major company, and no response to that either. I'm at a total loss. Do I just wait to see what they do or what? I mean, the last shower was put in January. So we've gone several months, and it's, I'm just at a total loss.
So, Patricia, let me bring the rest of the listening audience up to speed for those who aren't familiar with your saga, okay? So, Patricia had a company come out, install a shower. It was installed properly the first time, but there was an issue with the permitting, I believe, so had to be redone. The second time it was done under the proper permit, but the installation was not correct or up to code. Is that correct?
Well, it was the wrong dimension on the pan, and so then they had to fill in 2 inches on the wall and 2 inches on the floor for it to meet the where the tile was.
So Patricia has been trying to reach a resolution with this company as far as remedying it or getting money back or some sort of resolution with regard to the faulty installation. And now where she is, she sent a demand letter, no response, sent a certified demand letter, no response. So that's where you are. What do you think? Tell Patricia.
I have no idea because I've never heard of a situation like this.
Well, I'm going to tell you that at this point, I think it's time you hire an attorney. I think you've done everything possible to avoid that. And if this were to wind up in front of a judge, I think you look amazingly reasonable. You wrote every letter in a polite, respectful way, trying to get an amicable resolution. And then only when that got zero response did you have to hire counsel to jump in and intercede on your behalf. So I think, unfortunately, that's the point you're at, Patricia.
Now, this was done in Fort Lauderdale. Would you handle it?
I don't handle general civil litigation cases. However, I do have an attorney that does. And yes, he does handle cases down in Fort Lauderdale. So if you want to give me a call at the office, I'll be happy to meet with you, Patricia. I'll be in Sarasota on Tuesday. I was just glancing at my calendar. So you can come in. Yep, you can call the office on Monday, make your appointment, bring me the paperwork, and I'll make sure to get it to him so that the two of you can connect and get started on getting you some sort of acceptable resolution of the case. And I'm certainly sorry you're having to go this way.
Okay. Now, I know it will be at my expense that I hire it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, but I don't know what else to do. So, but you'll be at the Sarasota office on Tuesday then, right?
Yes.
I'll just wait to hear what the phone number is there.
Yeah, I can go ahead and give it to you now. The office line, for those of you who want to schedule your complimentary consultation, just like Patricia, it's 877-754-6764. Again, that's the office line to reach me during the week to schedule your consultation. 877-754-6764 for the Sarasota office, Sun City Center office, Clearwater, any of our offices over in Lake County as well. It's all that one number. Just call that number, 877-754-6764, and we'll be happy to get you on the calendar, okay?
Thank you, Patrick. You've given me some sanity through this all, and I appreciate it.
Well, we're going to get you all the way through this, Patricia. And I was really hoping the call was, hey, Patrick, it's all solved. I'm happy. It's done.
I was hoping to say that to you this week, too, but sorry, can't.
Well, that's okay. We're going to get you to that point, okay?
Okay, thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much, and you have a great day now.
God bless you, Patricia. Have a great day. All right, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith, along with me, special guest in studio, criminal defense attorney, Attorney Matthew Kendall, 877-943-9673. That's to be part of our program today, calling with all your legal questions, and Matt will be here fielding all your criminal law questions, 877-943-9673. All right, next we're going to Holiday. We're going to talk to John. John, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to know, please, if TOD and POD accounts has to go through probate?
Maybe is the best answer, John. Typically, no,
Oh.
because the TOD or POD is paying to a living, healthy adult beneficiary. But sometimes the
Right.
person put on the TOD or the POD predeceases the owner of the account. So it doesn't guarantee that it's going to avoid the probate process. Unlike a trust, where if you had some sort of trust vehicle holding the asset, then, the death of the beneficiary can be controlled for under contingency clauses within the trust. You can't do that under a POD or a TOD designation. The other concern I would have with a POD is it's doing exactly what you say. It's paying on death. So what if you're prolonged incapacitated because of dementia or Alzheimer's, or you're in a coma? That account, no one's got access to it until you've actually passed, since it pays only on death. So I think there's some drawbacks there, but it's sometimes better than nothing at all, John.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. I enjoy your show.
Oh, John, I appreciate your kind words. What station are you listening on?
I think it's 57 or 87. 87, I believe.
All right. Well, we appreciate you listening. Thank you so much, John. Have a great Saturday.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number. Open studio lines. We'll get you right on the air. Give us a call now. Attorney Patrick Smith, special guest Attorney Matthew Kendall. We're answering all your legal questions. And like I said, Matt is here as a practicing criminal defense attorney to handle all of your criminal law questions. All right. 877-943-9673, or email me, Patrick at attorneypatricksmith.com. All right. Let's go to Tampa. Let's talk to Mike. Mike, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning, Patrick.
Hey, Mike, how can we help?
Bought a bottle of alcohol from one of the local stores. I don't want to say the name.
Yeah, don't
And
please. That's good.
I put it on my skin, and it kind of peeled my skin back. And it didn't smell like alcohol. I brought it back to the store. It smelled more like paint thinner. Now, they wanted to exchange it, and I said, no, you know what? I'm going to keep it home and contact them and tell them, see what steps I should take. What would you suggest, Patrick?
So you bought an alcoholic beverage from a local store that'll remain.
No, not alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Medical rubbing alcohol, 91% alcohol.
So you bought rubbing alcohol, and you said it's.
I used it on a body part. It peeled the skin off, and it smelled like paint thinner or turpentine. I brought it back to the store. Spoke to the manager. He smelled it. He said, "Oh, this is definitely something wrong with it." He said, "We'll exchange it." And I said, "No, you know what? Let me take it home and see if I'm going to do anything about the product."
Did the manager of the store write up an incident report or anything when you went in?
No, sir.
All right. I think you definitely should contact a personal injury attorney. And if you want the referral to one, I'll be happy to give you a referral. You can call me at the office next week, and I'll put you in touch with one that'll give you a free consultation, Mike, as far as what your options are. Do you currently still have the bottle of alleged paint thinner?
I won't give it to them. They wanted it to, and as an exchange, I said, "No, you know what? Let me just take it home with me."
Yeah, preserve that. And in case they have turned in some sort of insurance claim, if someone reaches out to you and says, "Hey, we want to, get a recorded statement from you," just let them know you're in the process of hiring counsel before you give that recorded statement, Mike. Okay.
But I should go back to someone to write up an incident report.
But at this point, before you go back or do anything else, I would say have your consultation with your attorney, and have your attorney sort of become your liaison here and liaise with the property owner or the insurance company or whomever they're going to be working with. I think at this point, you definitely need counsel to intercede for you to make sure you don't make any missteps, no matter how well-intended the steps you're taking are.
Okay.
But that's a weird situation, Mike, and I'm sorry to hear that. But you mentioned the damage to your skin. I certainly hope that you're going to be okay in the long term, and we'll be happy to give you the number for a good personal injury attorney next week. Okay, Mike?
Okay, Patrick.
Have a great day. All righty, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number. Give us a call now with all your legal questions. You can also email us, Patrick at attorneypatricksmith.com. But it's so much more fun to talk to you live on the air. Open studio lines, 877 943-9673. Attorney Patrick Smith along with attorney Matthew Kendall. Next, we're going to North Carolina, and we're going to talk to Matthew. Matthew, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, Matthew. How can we help?
All right, so it's actually my girlfriend, but she got bit by a dog, and we've been staying together for a long time. We got bit by a dog probably about, I want to say, a year and a half ago at her friend's house. Now, she didn't want to pursue legal actions, but it's like so bad, you know, she can't like really drink out of straw and everything. So finally, I like talked to her. I was like, listen, you gotta pursue legal actions because you know this is gonna mess up your case for the rest of your life. So she finally did, but we moved to North Carolina. This case was in Florida, so we moved to North Carolina. She's been talking to his attorney, and like he's like, listen, you know, we can go after the homeowner. And the homeowner is actually two corporations that own this house, which is, he said it was kind of sketchy the way it sounded. But so he's like pursuing it, but then he just like dropped everything. Like he's no contact with her, no nothing. You know, she's calling back every time she's talking to not the attorney, but like their like secretary or whatever. And like she hasn't heard anything ever since he moved to North Carolina. They literally like ghosted her pretty much. So now my question is, since she already has like a kind of a case kind of going, can she just go to a different lawyer?
Well, I think she's going to operate within the terms of whatever retainer she entered into with that attorney. Odds are there's some sort of legal agreement they entered into, hopefully, and that'll lay out the terms for termination of representation if she chooses to terminate the relationship with that attorney and go with the new counsel. I think, you know, the client always has that option. It just depends on what they've agreed to as far as procedurally what the protocol is going to be. But I would encourage her, if she has an attorney, you know, try to work with your existing attorney. And I think that if you're just dealing with a lack of communication or bad communication, I think what you need to do is just put together a good certified letter to the attorney and say, hey, I would like an update on my case, or I would like to know where we are, or tell the attorney specifically what you want, and then give them a certain number of days to comply, you know, 10 business days, 30 days, whatever your girlfriend wants, and then sort of see what their response is to that. And no response is a response. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a situation where, you know, she needs to take a look at the original paperwork that she signed when she hired the attorney. And if she wants to consult another attorney about a second opinion, I think she has that option, and just going to depend on what the agreement she entered into requires her to go through as far as hoops to jump through if she decides she wants to switch counsel.
So my question though, so do you know like how long she can pursue this dog fight? Like is it, from what I researched, it was only 2 years to actually go ahead and sue the homeowner. But it's already been like a year and a half, and like the lawyer's just procrastinating. So like, is it getting to that point where it's too late?
Yeah, she should definitely add in her letter. Say, I have a concern about the statute of limitations. We can easily help her get in touch with someone so she's back, and her statute of limitations will stop running.
Okay. All right, man. I appreciate your help, man.
How's your, by the way, I'm just curious, Matthew, what kind of dog?
I think it was like a shepherd. It was a bigger dog.
Like a German shepherd?
Yeah.
How's your girlfriend doing now?
It's really not, I mean, it's a big scar. She had like 14 internal stitches that they had to like mess up her nerve. And then, on the external, she had about like 8 of them. So it's like, it goes from like right there where her dimple would be, where her smile would be, and then it goes kind of all the way up kind of by her nose. So it's very noticeable. It's real bad. And it's like, you know, she's a girl, so that's like her main beauty, you know? So like, it really messed it up. So like now, like when she yawns sideways. It's bad. It's really bad.
Matt, I'm sorry to hear that. Whereabouts in North Carolina are you?
So we're in Statesville, North Carolina. This happened in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay. All right. I went to law school in Chapel Hill, so I was just kind of curious where you were in relation to that.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, so like you would have to keep with a Florida lawyer, right? Just because the case is in Florida.
I think you have to keep with a lawyer licensed in Florida. I'm sure there's some North Carolina attorneys who also hold licenses in Florida, but yeah, you need someone licensed for the practice of law in Florida. It's clearly a Florida case.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm just hoping that we can talk to these lawyers, man. They just procrastinated, man. She calls in like every day, and they're like, all right, we'll get back to you. I don't know if they just got an overload of cases or if they're just not taking it serious, but it's just, she's like pushing it off because it's like not bothering her, but it will bother her. I mean, this is going to bother her for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
And like, she needs like reconstruction surgery and stuff, and like, why pay out of your pocket when you can have, the person that, sue the homeowner? I don't know.
Well, you deserve answers at least, and so that's why I would write that certified letter to your attorney, and hopefully you get the answers and ultimately the resolution and justice that your girlfriend deserves.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Y'all have an awesome morning.
You too, Matthew. Matthew, what station are you listening on?
I'm actually listening off 102.5 the Bone app.
All right. Well, we appreciate you
I'm
listening.
born and raised in Florida, man. I can't get away from it. So.
We appreciate your fidelity, Matt. You drive safely and enjoy North Carolina, okay?
All right, man. You have a good one.
See you. All righty. You're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. And along with me, special guest, Attorney Matthew Kendall, answering all your criminal defense questions. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. Give us a call now. We're live and local, open studio lines. We're here to answer any and all legal questions and help you as best we can this Saturday morning. 877-943-9673, or email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. So, Matt, tell me a little bit about, now you're in private practice as a criminal defense attorney, but you didn't start there. So tell me sort of your lineage, your origin story, if you will, of your legal career. Where did you start and how did you get where you are now?
Yeah, so I actually started with the prosecutor's office before I graduated law school. So I worked for the 10th Circuit State Attorney's Office out there in Bartow, Polk County. When I was in law school, I worked there as a certified legal intern, actually did 2 jury trials before I was ever a lawyer under a program they have. So after law school, I went back there, prosecuted there for about 3.5 to 4 years, and then migrated over to I was actually living in Tampa, driving over there every day from Tampa Palms. And so then I just moved back to the area, went to work in that area doing family law for about 2 years. Realized I didn't really have the patience for family law. Got back into criminal defense. I was doing some court-appointed work then, and really liked it. And said, "Hey, I got to get back into this." And got a great job with a great firm for about 5 years in Pasco County, and that's where I primarily practice now: Pasco, Hernando, and Pinellas. And then I do Tampa as well, just not as much anymore.
Well, and we'll have you give out your contact information before the end of the show. But the firm, of course, you want to give out the firm's name?
Yeah, so I work for a firm called Bauer, Kreider, Kinney, and Perry, and we practice really all over the state. You can find all our contact information at floridadefense.com. Florida spelled out. It's got all our office addresses, phone numbers, email address. You can call me actually directly on my cell if you need to at 727-270-0860, or at the office at 727-446-4800.
That's what I call him on his cell phone, even when he's playing golf.
Many clients do. They text me after hours. I'm meeting somebody at 10 o'clock today to go over a case with them.
Well, that's because, criminal law has no business hours.
That's true. Well, some people like to work, and, if they're working, that means I'm probably getting a better chance of me getting paid.
So 877-943-9673, that's your live and local number. Give Matt a call now with your criminal law question. Or we're, of course, always here to field any and all legal questions. I'm Attorney Patrick Smith, 877-943-9673. Email us, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, let's go to Bradenton and let's talk to Joe. Joe, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Hello. Thank you for having me. So my question is, I'm going to be getting married, and my fiance has a 4-year-old son, where the father has only recently kind of been in the picture. He hasn't really been in the picture the whole time. So her son has her last name, and also his father is not on the birth certificate. She has sole custody, sole everything. He doesn't really get to call any shots for anything. So when we get married, she's concerned about him keeping her last name with we all are my last name because we're also having a baby. Can she change his last name?
So she's
She's not on the birth certificate, nor to have his father's last name.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing I would be concerned about, Joe, is the biological father bringing a paternity suit. And I think if that gets established and a paternity is established, then you're going to have some issues. But without that, I mean, is the biological father trying to exercise his rights as the dad?
So he's right now on supervised visits. And we're actually going to court once again because he has a lot of mental issues.
All right. Does your wife have an attorney? Does your wife already have an attorney representing her?
Yeah, she does, but she doesn't know I'm calling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just have her call her attorney. Her attorney should be able to walk her through this and give her the answers that she needs.
Okay. But just like in a general, gist of it is, so really she would have to have his permission, kind of.
Well, I mean,
even though he's not on the birth certificate.
I don't do family law day in and day out. I've seen some cases on the periphery, and Matt has some background in it, so I'm going to defer to him since he did family law for a couple of years. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while, but that's obviously the easiest way to do it would be to get his permission. He may not obviously want to give that permission. I don't know what good father would.
Right.
But it sounds like if he's doing supervised visits, that there's already some sort of a paternity action that's in place or going. So that judge will likely have jurisdiction. So if she wants to, I don't know if this is what you want or what she wants, but if she wants to legally change the child's name, she needs to properly raise that issue with the family law judge.
Okay. All right. So it's not complete out of the question then.
No,
yes. Alrighty.
Joe, sometimes you hear the adage, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. This is not one of those times. I think this is a time where it's far better to go ahead and err on the side of asking for permission as opposed to just doing something. But hopefully that answer helped, Joe. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And just to add on, the courts kind of have this philosophy that they want a child to have two involved, caring, co-parenting parents.
Right.
So their idea is to make you guys one family unit, as traditional as it may be.
Yeah, the poll star, and this is from my perspective and recollection, the poll star has always been, from the court's perspective, the best interest of the child.
Yes,
that is always the standard they're going to measure it up to, Joe. So when they say, is it in the best interest of the child to change the name? And
that's kind of what we're dealing with now. Is he is pretty much non-existent on any form. The only reason he's paying child support is because they're garnishing his wages.
Yeah,
and I'm his dad, basically.
But the question is, for the child psychologically, to have your name changed at whatever age the child is,
right?
How is that going to impact the child? And is it in the child's best interest to do so? So that's what the court, I think, is going to assess, and I think that's the point Matt was making.
Okie doke. All right. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I listen to you on Saturday.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate you listening. On what station are you listening?
102.5 The Bone.
All right. We appreciate you and all other Bone listeners out there. So you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday, Joe.
Thank you as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. You're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of the show. 877-943-9673. Or email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. With me in studio, Attorney Matthew Kendall, answering all your criminal defense and family law questions for those couple years.
Thought I got out of that.
It's a couple years more family law experience than I've got, brother, so they can all be yours. So, all right, next we're going to, your neck of the woods. We're going to Land O'Lakes, and we're going to talk to John. John, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Thank you for taking my call. My daughter's 35 and living in the Netherlands and is engaged to seems to be a very nice young man, but he's quite a few years younger than her. And my wife and I are in our 70s, and we have, a nice retirement in our IRAs. I really want her to get a prenuptial agreement. The problem is, I don't know, do we do it here in Florida? Does she have to do it in the Netherlands? Help.
Yeah, I think that she would need to consult an attorney in the Netherlands, since they're going to be citizens and residents of the Netherlands, correct?
Okay. Yes, probably.
Yeah, so I think that's going to establish what we call the venue for them. So if they're, situs here in the great state of Florida, obviously we would do it under Florida law. If they're going to do it in the Netherlands, I think that would be optimal to anchor it there. And the nuptial agreement's obviously a great idea to protect against invasion of spousal rights by statute or constitutional invasion of homestead under the state constitution. So it's a wise decision, but at the end of the day, in the Netherlands, I'm sure they've got their own set of rules, and I would defer to Netherlands counsel as far as what they would advise as far as the nuptial agreement, if in fact they are going to be citizens and residents of the Netherlands.
Great. Thank you very much.
All righty. Matt, anything to add to that? That's kind of a family law
Well,
question.
ultimately, it could be where they're at when they go to enforce that agreement. What jurisdiction do they intend to enforce it in? Because if they moved here, they would be getting divorced in the States. So.
And that's a fair point, John. At the end of the day, it's a situation where you draft these sort of contracts, which is what a nuptial agreement is. It's a contract. You don't draft it for the good days when everybody's happy. You draft it for when you go to enforce it. So that's a great question, and that may need to be addressed as far as the enforceability here of an agreement entered into in the Netherlands and vice versa. So that's a conversation worth having.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, John. You have a great day. All righty. You're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith, along with me, special guest, Attorney Matthew Kendall, here to answer all your criminal defense questions and all your other legal questions. 877-943-9673. Maybe this is just your calling back to family law.
I think it's your secret agenda.
Family law is pulling. You knew I needed a family law attorney, so I'm pulling you in. I needed a new family law attorney to work with, so we're just pulling you into that family law role. 877-943-9673. Give us a call now. Next, we are going back to our home county of Polk, and we're going to go to Lakeland and talk to Dave. Dave, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How's Lakeland today?
It's moist and going to be hot.
It's Polk County. It's a swamp.
You got it.
How can we help you, Dave?
Well, about almost 3 years ago, it'll be 3 years ago in October, I got rear-ended on I-4. The lady who hit me, she totaled her car. My car was damaged to the point where he had to bring it to the dealership and have them do about a week and a half of work on it and replace all sorts of things. I felt some issues with my back after it had happened. I went to a doctor that was recommended to me to see if there was anything truly wrong, and I did that before that. I think it was before a 7-day period or something like that I was told to do. So, my back hurts, and it still hurts, but it's not as much as it did. But I've kind of muscled through the thing and decided just to start stretching and didn't go any further with it. But, here I am. I know it's here we are 3 years later, but it's to the point where my lower back and things really, really start hurt me. And I don't know if there's any recourse at this point, because I know it's been a long time. And I'm kind of just, if nothing I can do, that's fine. But if there's something I can do, I would have no problem working through whatever's legal.
Do you have an attorney already representing you on the case, Dave?
No, I made a couple of phone calls when it initially happened, and then I kind of just dropped it because I'm a worker. I have to go to work every day.
Sure. No, I understand. Most Americans are, and they live paycheck to paycheck. So if you get hurt, you still got to go to work on those days, and that's tough to deal with when you're suffering an injury like the one you've experienced. Did you seek medical attention after the accident? Did you go to a doctor's office, or was there any sort of record of the injury?
Yeah, I was told to go to within the first, I think they said 2 weeks. I went to a doctor's office who's kind of localist to the Lakeland area.
Okay.
And he asked me a series of questions, and I told him, yeah, it hurts to a certain extent. But it was literally probably a month or two later where it just started hurting in different locations at different times. It's really, and I've never had any issues before. I've always been pretty athletic in my life, and it's kind of slowed me down. So I just don't know if at this point there's any recourse whatsoever.
I think you got to get with a good personal injury attorney, I can put you in touch with a very good one that we work with all the time, and he can give you a free consultation, Dave. If need be, he can come to you there in Lakeland and make sure that you get all your questions answered as far as your statute of limitations and what recourse you may have remaining, considering it's been 3 years, and see what they can do to try to make things better for you. But I'm so sorry that you're having those back issues. That's got to be extremely frustrating.
Yeah, well, luckily I'm up and around. I can walk and everything. It's just sometimes it's really bad, and then sometimes I don't feel a thing.
Well, I like your attitude, and it seems like you're a glass half full kind of guy, Dave, and that's great. And I be happy to put you in touch with a good personal injury attorney. I'll give out the office number here in a few moments, so just have a pen and paper handy, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Dave. All right, you listen to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673 to schedule that complimentary consultation with us during the week for Clearwater, Sun City Center, the new Sarasota office, or any of our offices in Lake County, Claremont, the Villages. The office number to schedule your complimentary consultation or to get in touch with us for a referral, 877-754-6764. Again, that office line, you can give us a call Monday through Friday, 877-754-6764. You can always email me, Patrick at attorneypatricksmith.com, or just check out the website, attorneypatricksmith.com. 877-943-9673. Give us a call now. We're live and local. Attorney Matthew Kendall, along with me, Attorney Patrick Smith, answering your legal questions. All right, let's go back to Lakeland. Let's talk to Judy. Judy, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Thank you very much for taking my call.
Happy to help, Judy.
Well, my husband died from COVID. It's coming up on 2 years ago, and I have talked with a couple of attorneys. One were close to taking the case, but when they saw that my husband had clouding of the lungs, they felt that released, they couldn't take the case because that would make it so that the doctors were not responsible. When my husband, well, it's a really long story. My main question is, when did the patient lose the ability to choose the treatment that they would like to have, what medications they could be given?
Well, Judy, first of all, I'm sorry about your husband. How many years were you married?
55.
Wow. What's the secret to 55 years? I'm only at 19, Judy, so you're dispensing wisdom this morning. So
I guess you just suck it in sometimes.
That's, you know what, and your husband's not here to say it, but I will say this. Most husbands, when I ask that question, the wife says exactly what you just said. It's a matter of tolerating or having a short memory or something of that nature. The husband's answer, though, most commonly is that the secret to a 5-decade-plus marriage is simply saying, yes, ma'am.
Well, we won't go into that. my husband was military.
Well, thank you for his service. And I can just hear in your voice, by the way you talk about him, he was a special guy. What was his name?
Morgan.
Morgan?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. Awesome, Morgan, and I'll say a special prayer for that. The short answer to your question is they haven't. The patient has the right to dictate their own care as far as what they want to have in place and what treatments they do receive, medications they do and don't want to receive. And
but my husband was denied.
He was denied access to treatment that he was requesting?
It had become persona non grata. He asked for hydroxychloroquine and or ivermectin. I also think he asked for, and they said that he could not have that, and yet they put him on trials, and that was the point I was trying to make with them. Was I'll sign a release form. I'll sign anything you want me to sign. Yeah. Let him try what he wants to try, but that was not available to him.
Well, Judy, it's important for people to have good power of attorney and healthcare surrogate so that if they can't express their wishes themselves, they've designated someone, in Morgan's case, like a Judy, to make those decisions on their behalf. But no, the patient still has the right. I'm not sure why the denial that you're alleging occurred happened. And I think that it's worth exploring with
what he did when he went in, he called me. It was either the next day or the day after, and he said, "Get me out of this hospital. They will not let me have what I want to take." And being ignorant, I was calling all over to find out how you get somebody out of the hospital. I was not aware that I could go right down there and take him out of there. I know that after the fact.
Well, Judy, you did not hire an attorney. I know you said you've consulted with a few. You have not yet retained, correct?
Well, there was a firm that was investigated, and they said that because there was clouding in the lungs, that would let the doctor that he saw in the emergency room off the hook. But when you've got a man, he's about 80 years old, coming into you and has suddenly become very ill, although his temperature at that moment was like right at 100, so it wouldn't be considered elevated. But you got a guy there saying, I suddenly got sick at work and I feel like crap, and they took x-rays and urine sample, and when he walked into the house here, and he was home early from work, and anyway, I asked him why he was home early, and he told me about going to the emergency room, and I said, well, what'd they say? He said they said he was good to go, and I said, well, where are your papers? And he had no paperwork. I don't know if that's standard practice anymore or not.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me there should have been some paperwork.
Well, Judy, do you have a pen and paper, or did you already write down my office number?
Yeah, I think I've got it.
Yeah. Just give me a call.
Let me get it.
Yeah, just give me a call at the office next week, and I'll put you in touch with a personal injury attorney if you haven't yet spoken or retained one. And
can I have your number very quickly?
Yeah, it's 877-754-6764 877-754-6764 is the office number. Okay, just give me a call at the office, Judy, and I can hear the trauma in your voice. And are you seeing a grief counselor or something, Judy?
I know I should.
Yeah, I'd recommend that. A pastor or a good friend, someone you can confide in, or a professional mental health advisor, someone to help you process through that. Losing a best friend of 5 decades plus is catastrophic, and you definitely want someone to guide you through that and help you. But I will say a very special prayer for Judy and Morgan today, okay?
Thank you very much.
God bless you, Judy. Okay. You have a great Saturday. Bye. Okay. Bye-bye. Alrighty, listen to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. With me in studio, special guest, Attorney Matthew Kimball, here to answer all of your criminal defense questions, criminal law questions. So give us a call now, 877-943-9673. All right, next we're going to Wesley Chapel. We're going to talk to Vinny. Vinny, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Thank you, gentlemen, for taking my call.
Happy to help, Vinny. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I have a child support question. My ex-wife pays me child support, and it's been the same amount for about 6 years. Her job, her income's changed. I don't know, how do I go about having her child support amount change to match her pay and going back? It's been that way for many years now.
Matt's going to take this one. Matt, it's all yours.
Yeah, you would need to just file a petition for modification, and you would allege that her income's exceeded what it was before, and she needs to be paying more under the guidelines. So if you can there's a lot of great attorneys in the Wesley Chapel area you can reach out to, and they'll get you squared away there.
I do have one, but the way it's set up, if I have to go after her for anything, she pays my lawyer fees and vice versa. I was trying to take it easy on her. And like a medical bill she's supposed to pay 30 days out, she hasn't been doing either.
So has your attorney tried to reach out to her with a settlement or anything?
Yeah, we tried that, and he just said you don't get water out of a rock. The thing is, she's a waitress, and we can't really prove her income.
Understood. Well, then, yeah, it's something that would probably have to be litigated if you think you're entitled to have some extra money or the child's entitled to have extra support, then it's something you may have to litigate, and you can ask for attorney's fees. And now attorney's fees are going to be based upon your the ability to pay them, in part. So your attorney's right. You can't get blood out of a stone or water out of a turnip. I'm probably just screwing up the acronyms.
You're rebirthed into family law today, so you're allowed to mess up the metaphors. It's okay. Vinny, did that help?
Yeah, I tried that, and I got kicked back from the court system saying too much time had gone by. They dropped it. I mean, I started this petition back in right when COVID started again, so that slowed it down. And they said something like 120 days had gone by with no communication with her communicating back with the court, so they dropped it.
Yeah, sometimes you get that lack of prosecution letter.
Yeah,
where you got to do something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Well, Vinny, good luck with it, and hopefully her attorney is able to get her the help she needs, or get you the help you need. Okay.
I appreciate it, John.
All righty, Vinny. Have a great day. All righty, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. And we are live in local open studio lines. Attorney Matthew Kendall, along with me, Attorney Patrick Smith, here to answer your legal questions. And some very sad news to report on the Attorney Patrick Smith show. We will be losing a member of the Attorney Patrick Smith team, Yana.
Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Yana. We only have, two? This is next to last Saturday. Next Saturday is your last Saturday, right?
Yes, correct.
So we're losing Yana, the Belarusian producer, and I had told Joe Weaver about a month into work, because we've been working together about a year now.
Yes, like 10 months.
10 months. And I told Joe Weaver here, I said, look, if there's no Yana, there's no show. I said, so it's going to be real simple. So I think Joe's been working extra diligently to try to get Yana to stay, but Yana is going to be leaving for very good reasons, to spend more time with family, her 2 and 4-year-old Evan and Martin.
Yes.
She also has an amazing rock star physician husband, Vlad. So I haven't gotten a chance to meet Vlad yet, but I hope to get that opportunity. So, but we will be losing Yana next Saturday. Is her last broadcast with us, helping us produce the show here. And she said, I don't think anybody's going to care. And I said, I think you're wrong. I said, I think a lot of people are going to care that Yana, the Belarusian producer, is going to be leaving the show. So if you're out there and you're looking to produce a radio show,
and your name is Yana.
That's right. And you reconsider, help me call in next Saturday, and let's all convince Yana to stay. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Yana, anything you want to say?
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate all your kind words.
Yeah, Yana, you've just been...
And I enjoyed work with you.
Oh, Yana, the pleasure was all mine. It was just one of those situations where, square peg, square hole, just worked well together, and we'll miss you. And but we still have one more show to go, so we're not going to get too sad yet, because we still have one more to go. So 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. Give us a call now. We're live and local. Happy to help any way we can. Attorney Matthew Kendall, along with me, Attorney Patrick Smith, and we're here to answer all your legal questions, but forte criminal. So if you have a question about any sort of expungement, or maybe it's a DUI, we were talking off the air before the show about the medical marijuana laws and about the rules regarding being prosecuted. I guess with the medical marijuana, we were talking about there's rules about how they carry it. So people who have a medical marijuana license aren't simply allowed to carry it any old way, right?
No, you need to keep it in its packaging that you got it from the dispensary. Once you get to your home, you can do whatever you want. But when you're driving in the car, I've had several cases where someone's been pulled over and actually been arrested or given a court date notice for not having their medical marijuana in its packaging. They show them their medical marijuana card, and then the cop is like, "Where's the packaging?" And he's like, "Because it's like tucked behind you." Something, it's not in any packaging.
It's not your standard.
And so they get a court date notice, and that person's got to spend the attorney's fees and the time to go and litigate that. Now, typically we get it dismissed or no prost, but it makes it more harder on you if you don't follow the rules of the statute.
All right. So if you have a question for Matt, 877-943-9673. We are rolling up here on the end of the show. So Matt, before we wrap up, give out all your contact information again if people want to get in touch with you. Because I got a feeling there's a lot of criminal defense questions out there. People just didn't want to call in live over the air to ask criminal defense questions. And so go ahead and tell them how they can get in touch
Well, I
with
think you need to show it like 2 or 3 in the morning or something. You might get more calls on that.
Brian, the call screener would be a lot busier. I'll tell you that. So,
but yeah, so the easiest way is go to floridadefense.com. Florida spelled out. That'll have our number 727-446-4800, as long with we have several different numbers, 800 numbers and everything. Then that'll have our email address, office locations, and you can even call me on my cell with a question. That's 727-270-0860.
all righty. Well, thanks for being here, Matt. The number to reach me at the office during the week, 877-754-6764, 877-754-6764. Email me, Patrick at attorneypatricksmith.com. Check out the website, attorneypatricksmith.com. Everyone stay safe, God bless, and go Gators.
The proceeding was sponsored